All right, so we already talked about dissolved oxygen, but I'm going to repeat it for everybody at home. So we measured DO today because we want to know how much oxygen is available in the water for organisms that live underwater. So the fish would breathe it, snails, anything like that. We have 0% saturation of dissolved oxygen right now. It's very low. And we'll talk through that tomorrow. And so pH, Dee Dee, what was the pH? 8. So Michigan lakes, rivers, streams, ponds, their pH should be near neutral, which is 7. So our pond is right where it needs to be. So the pH scale goes from 1 to 14, and we're in the middle, and that's neutral. That means the water is not basic and the water is not acidic. And so that's a very good pH. For a pond, that's an amazing pH. So the other two things that we tested today with tablets were nitrates and phosphates. And nitrates and phosphates come from the breakdown of waste. Nitrogen rich waste is poop or manure. In the spring, when we test out here, when we have all the geese all over the place, our phosphate is like bright blue, very, very high. Right now, our phosphate measured, what did we think? Less than 1. So not a lot of phosphates. That is awesome. Not a lot of phosphates. That is a good thing because phosphates and nitrates can promote weed growth in a pond. So we don't do a lot of fertilizing on campus. It can come from man-made fertilizers too, and it leaches out of the soil. So in our area, we have sandy soil, so anything that gets on the soil, it moves through it quickly. So we're really lucky and fortunate in our area, we don't have those problems. If you went south of Stony Lake to clay banks, they have high phosphates and nitrates. So because the water can't permeate the clay like it can in sandy ground. Nitrates, what did we measure?
I think it was under 5.
Under 5. And that's also good. That means our nitrates are low. And nitrates and phosphates, right, we don't want high levels of them because they will promote seaweed growth. And I want you now, I want you to look at the pond because in comparison to last year's picture, it looks a lot different, and I want you to notice it. I want you to look at it really carefully because we'll be comparing it to 2019's picture. So I'm going to give you a few minutes just to kind of look at where weeds are and think back to that picture where you could see them all along the edges. We're good.